Good morning, Peter, and good morning once again to the viewers here. Rightfully said, we are coming live from Nasrec at the RAND show, 120 years old. I heard you mention the SANDF. In actual fact, they've been part of this show for the last 12 years now. They took a break in 2011, but they're here in full force. The four arms, in actual fact, which is the SA Army, the SA Air Force, the SA Navy, and the SA Military Health Services. They are going to show their capabilities for 4 days of this 10-day event. I'm now joined by Brigadier General Xolani Mabanga, who is the Director for Defence, Corporate Communications. Brigadier General, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and good morning to the viewers too.
4 days, we expect a full showcase of what the SANDF can do.
Definitely, we are going to have an indoor display as well as an outdoor exhibition. Coupled to that, we'll also have South African National Defence Force capability demonstrations.
It's 20 years of democracy. You're celebrating your 100 years as well. Talk to me just about, I know we're going to see some of the exhibitions, but the South African National Defence Force itself, these are the kind of shows that you can change perceptions.
Definitely, these are the platforms or opportunities where we can engage and talk to the people of South Africa, as well as allow an opportunity for South Africans to engage with South African National Defence Force personnel, as well as see the equipment that we have, as well as see or be told of career opportunities that are available in the South African National Defence Force. That is what we'll be having. We'll also be having some members from the South African National Defence Force, the reserve component. We'll also explain opportunities. How can people join or be enlisted to the reserve force? It is 120 years of participation of the South African military in the RAND show. However, for the South African National Defence Force, we took some break, some time, and then we came back in 2011, and we are back again in full force.
Talk to me very quickly about the last 20 years of South Africa's democracy. How has the SANDF transformed itself internally?
Well, there's a lot of changes that we have seen within the South African National Defence Force in terms of structure, as well as in terms of aligning the South African National Defence Force in terms of, or in according to the South African policies and prescripts as may be determined by the government. So we have seen a number of changes up to now, as we are celebrating 20 years of South African National Defence Force.
I have to tell you personally, I'm really excited. I'm literally meters away from the Roy Falk. This must be one of the major attractions over the next 4 days.
It should be, because it's one of the piece of equipment that we have, which we pride ourselves. It's a lot of capability. It does a wonderful job, and we know what it has been doing in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's one of the equipment that we are very proud of as South Africans, as well as members of the South African National Defence Force. If you can give me that and say go anywhere, I will.
Brigadier General, why is there so many reports about the Roy Falk being decommissioned? I mean, we've had this conversation before we started. You said those are just rumors. This is a fine piece of equipment.
Well, I don't know where are those rumors coming from. I haven't heard it in any forums or platforms that I've been sitting as a member of the committee or the council. So it's something that I don't think we will be decommissioning soon. It's one of the best piece of equipment that the Defence Force should have because of its capabilities.
Talk to me about where our troops are on the African continent at the moment and what they're up to.
We have a battalion deployed in Sudan as part of the hybrid operation, that is the UN-AU mission. We also have a unit deployed in the Democratic Republic of Congo, part of the Force Intervention Brigade, as well as other staff officers deployed in UN headquarters within the Democratic Republic of Congo.
And there are two particular types of missions. One is a peacekeeping and one is enforcing peace.
Well, you'll find in the United Nations peacekeeping operation that is peacekeeping, that's purely peacekeeping operation, as well as which is conducted under Chapter 6 of the United Nations Charter. And then there's also peace enforcement, which is conducted under United Nations Chapter 7 of the United Nations Charter. So the peacekeeping, the operation in the Eastern DRC is a peace enforcement, which is under Chapter 7.
Let's just come back very quickly to the RAND show. You talked about some of the exhibits we will be seeing, but will there be opportunities for people that come here to interact not only with the military personnel, but will they get an opportunity to drive the tanks? Are there simulators? Might we get an opportunity to go in the Rooivalk?
Well, if we had time initially, we planned that one of our exhibitors will explain what will be there. People will have an opportunity to ride on some of the vehicles, will have an opportunity to interact with our personnel as I've indicated, as well as we'll also have an opportunity to sit behind our simulators, be it the training as well as the driving simulators that will be here on display. They will also have an opportunity to climb and feel how it is to be in a tank. They'll also have an opportunity to see what we eat when we are deployed. There's what we call a ration pack. They'll also be introduced to what is a ration pack, and that is a meal for a day, and what does it comprise or consist of. We'll also have chefs that will also be cooking and serve meals to ordinary South Africans. That's also an opportunity. So we'll have a lot of a range of activities where people will interact with the South African National Defence Force personnel, as well as have a feel of the South African National Defence Force equipment and be told what is this used for, and they can also just touch and feel it.
Okay. Jam-packed 10 days. They're only here for 4 days, though. So if you want to experience the South African National Defence Force, you're going to have to make your way to the RAND show here in Nasrec, hosted by the Johannesburg Expo Centre. That, of course, was Brigadier General Xolani Mabanga, who is the SANDF Director for Defence Corporate Communication, shedding some light on what we as the ordinary civilians can experience when we come to the show for 4 days with the South African National Defence Force. I don't know about you, Peter, but sitting in a tank, maybe driving a tank, sounds pretty exciting to me. Back to the Johannesburg studio.
Yes, Sam, it's just the stuff that kids dream of, isn't it, to get inside some of those big things. So the RAND Easter show taking place between the 18th and the 28th of April. Make sure you get down there. It's a real family outing, so go there in your numbers.